promise this video will be much more entertaining than the last one that I was driving. Mila and I are on the way to shoot some broadheads and if necessary broadhead tune my bow for this year. I know that my bow is pretty dang dialed in already. I shot a couple broadheads out of it so far and they're hitting right with the field points, so might not need too much. But I'm also going to test out my new broadhead selections for this year. I'm actually going to be shooting 2 different broadheads this year and 2 different arrow setups. So I'd like to go over those real quick. For 2 of my hunts, my archery antelope as well as my mule deer, I will be using a gold tip Pierce Platinum tipped with a Slick Trick standard 125 grain. So some stats on that, it's going to weigh out to about 452 grains. I'm shooting a 4-fletch with the Boning Heat vanes, which is a low profile 2.5 inch. I will be running a wrap on there as well, and then just your standard insert and outsert and collar system that comes with the gold tip arrows. So they come out to, like I said, 452 grains, about 14% FOC, which I don't really care about, but if it helps, it helps. Yep, and then those Slick Trick standards, which is a 1-inch cutting diameter 4-blade. Those things should pretty much be perfect for the high wind and the longer shot scenarios. So that's that. And for my elk arrows, my elk hunt, I'll be shooting the Easton Full Metal Jacket 5mm. Tipped with an Iron Will standard 125, which is a 2-blade cut on contact with bleeder blades. And same fletching configuration there with the 4-fletch of the heat vanes. No wrap on those, so that's a little bit lower. That's about a 12% FOC, but they do come out to about 490 grains. Speed difference is about 10 feet per second. So the gold tip arrows are shooting out at 276, and the Full Metal Jackets are about 267, which isn't a huge difference, but it is a difference nonetheless. And it's my dang 27-inch draw length that kills me. Otherwise, I'd be getting much better speed. I'm shooting 75 pounds out of that Hoyt Pro Defiant. So I kind of need to limit my arrow weight just to maintain that speed. And I know you don't need it, but I like it. I like to get nice flat trajectories as often as I can, but as long as I'm above that 450 grains for my arrow, that's pretty much what I was looking for. So that's that for the boring part. We are almost there to the range, and we'll shoot some arrows. Let's see how we do. All right, so here's the first group with my Full Metal Jackets. So the black one is the Broadhead, and the camo one is the fill point. This is 40. I'll move that to 50 next. So I think with the FMJs, it's hitting a little bit right of my field points at 50. So we'll have to check that out, make sure before I move anything. I'll shoot one more group to be sure, but that's about 9 inches, so we'll double check. So I'm definitely impacting to the right. Kind of funny where I hit, but yeah. I'm moving on to my gold tip arrows. I'm gonna see what the difference is and maybe be able to compromise, but it's not looking like it. So that's the first group. The orange is the Broadhead. So they're pretty close. This is at 40. We'll move out to 50 and see how they hit there. All right, so we're pretty good here. We might be a touch high, but I'm a bit in front of the main target, which is at 40. So I think we're pretty dang good with the Slick Tricks. So, broadhead tuning. What we're doing, since I was hitting to the right of my field points with my Broadhead, I move my rest towards my field points. A little tip, take a picture of where your rest was before you move it, so you can refer back if you go too deep down the rabbit hole and mess yourself up. So in regards to moving your rest, I moved it from the center of the thick line on top being in line with that long line on the bottom to where it is now. So that was about a 64th of an inch, and that's all it needed. So these are very, very minute adjustments that you'll have to make here. Well, that's it. We got her done, dialed in. I had to move my rest about a 64th of an inch to get the full metal jackets dialed in. Woo, bumpy road. There we go. Anyways, yeah, so we are set out to 60. I'll probably shoot one more time with them just to confirm. Probably push out to 80 with the broadheads, just to make sure that nothing is being overlooked. But typically you can find any discrepancies show up pretty much out past 40, so I'm not too worried. But those iron wheels are pretty dang cool. I shot them into my target at least 10 times, and I could still shave with them. Check it out. So yeah, those are, if you haven't heard of them or haven't seen them, I highly recommend you check those out. They're Iron Wheel Outfitters. They make a solid and a vented blade. They tuned up so fast. I mean, it was, like I said, a 64th of an inch for, especially with those FMJs, which I'm right on the verge of being a little bit underspined. I stuck that nocturnal knock in the back end, and that really helped stiffen them up just enough. So I think they are dialed in perfectly at this point, and I'm ready. I'm ready to go chase after some antelope in a couple weeks. So hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you picked up some of the subtle little tips that we found. But good luck to you this year, and stay tuned for some gear review and update videos. Till next time, shoot straight.